everyone, I'm Laura Menson-Kaiser. Welcome to our outdoor kin movement studio here at the H2O Lifestyle Resort in the Turks and Caicos Islands. Today we have a yin sequence for side bending. So this short practice is going to help to really create some openness and flexibility in the side waist. So between our ankle and our hip and our ribs and our shoulder and our wrist. So let's get started lying down on the mat. We just have a couple of bolsters to support us in this practice. Come all the way down into your corpse pose or shavasana, and we'll begin here. Stretching out and closing the eyes. As the eyes close, bring some awareness to the body and the attention to the breath. Taking a long inhale through the nose and a long exhale through the nose. Right away, we'll start to even out the pace of the breath. Coming into a more relaxed state. And as we move through our practice today, we'll continue just to breathe evenly in and out through the nose. So on the next inhale, let's reach the arms back behind us and stretch out from fingertips out through the heels or the toes. And just feel the length in the right and the left side of the body, in the front and the back body. And as you exhale, completely soften and relax. Let's do that again. So inhale, stretch and extend out really long. And as you exhale, soften and relax. Let's move into our first posture from here. So we're coming into a reclined half moon stretch on the ground. So we'll begin by walking the heels off of the mat towards the left until you start to feel some tension, some stretch and lengthening through the right hip, the right side waist, and then we'll add the upper body. So we're going to start to inch the shoulders and the arms over to the left as well. Okay, so we have this crescent moon shape through the body. And we're going to hold here. And then try to start to relax the body, even if it wants to spring back a little, that's okay. Just allow it to start to soften and relax. And we're meeting our first edge in the pose here. And as we get about halfway through, we can deepen the pose and find a new edge. So just return the attention to the breath. Our yin practice is always a little more meditative. We come into the pose and we still the body and we try our best to still the mind. And just let the stretch do its thing. And what we might feel at the very beginning of each stretch is a little more tightness or tension in the body. And towards the end, the hope is that that opens up and that softens a little for us. So if it's available, then start to just inch the heels over just a little bit further to the left, just if there's room to. And maybe the upper body as well. We come into a slightly deeper side bend. And just stay for a few more breaths here. And then we'll gently begin to walk the heels back towards center on the mat. And the upper body as well. Just start to inch it back over until you feel somewhat centered. You might be a little skewed on your mat, that's okay. And just pause here for a moment. So allow that whole right side to rebound, to come back into position. We might feel a little difference from right side to left. So let's move into the other side now, starting to walk the heels off the mat towards the right. And moving into that first edge in the body where our body says to stop. And we'll listen, and then we'll start to inch the shoulders and the arms over as well. Okay, so deepening the stretch by adding the upper body side bend. And then trying our best just to completely relax and soften here. Even allowing the body just to unspring a little so we aren't holding it really tightly in place. These longer held stretches are what really help to get in and create more flexibility in the body. In our yin practice, we are really targeting the connective tissue and the fascia that's wrapping around the muscles and the joints of the body. Long breathing in and long breathing out. Let's see if we can inch in a little deeper for the second part of this pose, maybe walking the heels over to the right a little more and inching the body a little bit further to the right. Can we find a new level of tension, of deep stretch, and then we soften again, right here. And take one or two more breaths right here, as you are. And we can start to walk the heels back to center on the mat. We can start to inch the shoulders back to center and just allow the whole body to rebound. Let's take the arms alongside the body now. And pause. A little more open through right and left side. Good. So our next pose is going to be a twist, and we won't be in this pose for quite as long, but we're just going to come into a twist to really open up the hips and the spine a little bit more. So what you might need is one of your props here. So feel free just to sit up and grab your small bolster, or if you have a block at home, you could use your block. And I'll demonstrate on the right side so you can see what we're doing here first. We're going to bring the knees in. We're going to shift our hips over to the left and take the knees to the right. Now you can use your prop underneath the knees, like a little padding here, or you can place it between the knees, creating a little spacer. there for the hips and for between the knees. And then we open the chest up really nice and wide to the sky, to the ceiling, wherever you are. You could imagine the sky. And turn the palms upward. And even let the head roll to look over the left arm. So we're coming into this full body twist. We're just going to be here for about 5 breaths on each side. Close your eyes, move into that inner body rhythm right away. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose. We'll take 3 more breaths here, full cycle, all the way in and all the way out. And then roll the head back to center, and we're going to change sides. Bringing the knees through center and sliding the hips back to center, we'll take our prop right over to the other side. And pick the hips up and set them down to the right and drop the knees over to the left, using that bolster between the knees or just underneath. And then open the chest upward, take the arms really nice and wide, palms turned up, turning the gaze over the right arm to complete the twist all the way in the cervical neck spine. Closing the eyes again for 5 deep breaths. Take 2 more full breaths in and out through the nose. And then roll the head back through center, and let's bring our legs back around through center as well. Can set our bolster off to the side. There we go. Okay, so we're going to roll to one side to come up so we can set up for our next position. And for this next pose, we're going to use either the large bolster or the smaller bolster, just depending on your body type. I'm going to try with the large bolster. I've got a little bit more flexibility in my side waist, so I should be okay here. But if it feels a bit too intense, then you can use the smaller bolster under the waistline. And basically what we're doing here is we're side lying over the support. So there's going to be quite a lift underneath the rib cage and quite an opening in the upper side of the body. Okay, so come on down so that the ribs are lying over your support. And we'll take the arms right overhead, left arm reaching over the ear. Okay, the bottom hip is just draping off the edge of the bolster. And this is where we stay. So we should feel some opening here in the side of the hip, moving into the side waist, and then all the way up the arms. Try your very best just to surrender into this shape, melting over your prop, over your support. And gradually you feel everything soften a little more. Let's take a few more breaths here. You can always stay in these poses a little longer. You can pause the video and just stay put. Our yin postures can be held anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. Some postures are really nice to hold for as long as 10 minutes to really get a nice opening and deep stretch if time allows. Let's start to press our way back up. And we're gonna change sides. You can just come into tabletop pose and flip over, changing sides. I'm gonna move my bolster over so I don't turn my back to you. And come right into the other side. Stretch the arms overhead. And close the eyes, moving right in. When we move from one side to the other, we really have an opportunity to feel the difference from our right side to our left side. If you notice anything, just acknowledge any changes in the body, any differences. And stay for a few more breaths right here. With the next inhale, let's press our way up unless you're staying a little longer. And we're gonna finish off in a seated posture. So just give yourself some room on your mat. You can also sit on your smaller bolster to prop the hips up slightly. We'll sit up tall in the spine. Everything feels pretty open in the sides of the body, and we'll finish off just with a side bend seated. So take your left hand out to the left side of the body, reach the right arm up and over, side bending, maybe surprisingly a little deeper than you would expect after opening up the body with the first few postures. And then you can pivot the chest down and inhale and open up a little, looking upwards past the elbow and down and back up. And then we'll reach through center and move right into the other side. Left arm extends up and over into that side bend. Pivoting the chest down and open and down and open. Inhale. Let's take both arms up, reaching skyward. Feeling all the length right from the hips out through the fingertips, and we exhale, hands coming down in front of heart center to close this practice. I hope you feel a little longer in your right and left side waist, and thank you so much for joining. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here. If you're enjoying what we're sharing, please give us a like, and you can also subscribe to this channel below. And if you want to follow us along on this journey, you can find us at kin.co or on Instagram at kinsight.